Hello, this is Ray Main here again with today's Bible reading. Today we're going to be reading in the book of Revelations, chapter 17. In the last few chapters we've been reading about a beast system. I told you that was a beast system. That was a church system. Chapter 17 explains, in its own words, what that beast is, and if you have an ear to hear, what it represents. I would remind you that Revelations, the book of Revelations, is full of symbols and symbology and references to things that are hard to be understood today. The people at that time understood them. Okay? They were under the control of Rome. And we'll get on down here, you'll understand this a little better. But just remember that. They were under the control of Rome. I will tell you this. It talks about a woman. A lot of times, not every time, but a lot of times, depends on the context. A lot of times when it's talking about a woman, and especially in this chapter, it's talking about a church or religious system. See if that won't help you understand. Like I said, time and time again, this is a spiritual book for a spiritual people, and it can only be understood by the Spirit of God. But this is one chapter that, if you'll pay attention, it explains itself. Let's begin. And there came one of the seven angels which had the seven vials, and talked with me, saying unto me, Come hither, I will show unto thee the judgment of the great whore that sitteth upon many waters, with whom the kings of the earth have committed fornication, and the inhabitants of the earth have been made drunk with the wine of her fornication. So he carried me away in the spirit into the wilderness, and I saw a woman sit upon a scarlet-colored beast, full of names of blasphemy, having 7 heads and 10 horns. And the woman, or that church system, was arrayed in purple and scarlet color, and decked with gold and precious stones and pearls, having a golden cup in her hand, full of abominations and filthiness of her fornication. And upon her forehead, or in her mind, or at the, another way to say that would be at the head of the thing, okay, was a name written, Mystery Babylon the Great, the mother of all harlots and abominations of the earth. And I saw the woman drunken with the blood of the saints, and with the blood of the martyrs of Jesus. And when I saw her, I wondered with great admiration. And the angel said unto me, Wherefore didst thou marvel? I will tell thee the mystery of the woman, and of the beast that carrieth her, which hath the 7 heads and 10 horns. The beast that thou sawest was, and is not, and shall ascend out of the bottomless pit, and go into perdition. And they that dwell on the earth shall wonder, whose names were not written in the book of life from the foundation of the world. Let me read that again. They that dwell on the earth shall wonder, whose names were not written in the book of life from the foundation of the world, when they behold the beast that was, and is not, and yet is. And here is the mind which hath wisdom. The 7 heads are 7 mountains on which the woman sitteth. Now let me stop right here just a second. Let me remind you of something. If you'll do some research, the city of Rome was at one time called the city that sits on 7 hills. Now just think about that, okay? And there are 7 kings. 5 are fallen, and 1 is, and the other is not yet come. And when he cometh, he must continue a short space. And the beast that was, and is not, even he is the 8th, and is of the 7, and goeth into perdition. And the 10 horns which thou sawest are 10 kings, which have received no kingdom as yet, but receive power as kings 1 hour with the beast. These have one mind, and shall give their power and strength unto the beast. In other words, that's what they're promoting. Okay? They're all of one mind and one accord with that. These shall make war with the Lamb, and the Lamb shall overcome them. For he is Lord of lords, and King of kings, and they that are with him are called and chosen and faithful. Who's that Lamb it's talking about? It has to be Jesus, right? And he saith unto me, the waters which thou sawest. Now, here's a symbol that you can use in the rest of the Bible. The waters which thou sawest, where the horse sitteth, are peoples and multitudes and nations and tongues. So when it's talking about waters here, it's talking about people. Okay? Where the horse sitteth. In other words, they are bearing her up, see. And the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast, these shall hate the whore, and shall make her desolate and naked, and shall eat her flesh, and burn her with fire. For God hath put in their hearts to fulfill his will, and to agree, and give their kingdom unto the beast, until the words of God shall be fulfilled. And the woman which thou sawest is that great city, which reigneth over the kings of the earth. Now all this points, in a very real way, and it can be argued successfully, I think, that all of this is pointing at the Catholic Church in Rome. And that's the way, honestly, that's the way that I believed all my life. But going back to what I said at the start of this video, Book of Revelations is a book of symbology, and all of these symbols, and it talks about this beast which was and yet not is. There's no doubt church history and regular history will bear up that there have been many people martyred by the Catholic Church. But just consider this. There's a religion. Could it be that this is as far as our day? Now, no doubt back there it was talking about a religious system. See, John, whenever he wrote this, the persecutors of Jesus back there was Rome, because Rome was in charge of what was going on. They had control of Judea, where Jesus was. Rome was the primary persecutor of the Christians of this time. Remember, this was written 2,000 years ago. So could it be that was the symbol of a religious order back there? We could consider that to be a religious order today, couldn't we? What is the primary persecutor of Christians today? What religious order is the primary persecutor of Christians today? Isn't that the radical Islamic fashions that's in this world? I'm just saying all this to try to get you to consider what this is. Remember, this is a book of symbols. This is a book of symbology. Could it be that at some point there'd be 2 or 3 different religious factions that would join forces? Well, whenever we get to the prophecies of Daniel, Ezekiel, and others, I think you'll see that that's a very real possibility. We haven't gotten there yet. But keep this passage in mind. Keep this chapter in mind. That's not just talking about how would I say that? It's not just talking about the more fanatical portions of the Catholic Church. I think it's talking about something else as well. So just consider that, and the Lord give you the understanding. We'll look forward to talking to you tomorrow. God bless.